So the question remains, I guess, should you, if you're watching this, should you get an emu? Do you think they should get an emu? Hello, everyone. Good morning, Twitty, Twain, Klein. Be nice to each other. Okay, goodness. Not gonna happen. Hi, pretty girl. You're making sure everybody knows your boss? Yes, you are. Listen to that drumming. We'll go get some food, okay? Oh my goodness, what are you crying for? He's so cute. Say hello, world. Oh, now you're not gonna scream? Go get her. So, if we could go back in time and make the decision to get emus all over again, would we do it? Would we do things differently? Is there stuff we would change? Is there stuff that we wouldn't change? I feel like these questions a lot of folks have. So today we're just going to tackle a few of them. And I'm sure Cash will probably join us on a few of those topics as well. Right, Waylon?
Yep.
Look at him. What a beautiful guy.
Hi, Cash. He has the brightest neck I ever saw.
He does. He looks like a zebra. He's our zebra emu.
Yeah, because he has like white stripes.
Uh-huh.
What's one of the two emus' names back there?
What are the emus? Oh, you're going to tell them what their names are?
I'm asking.
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, is
that...
one of them Haggard?
Mm-hmm, very good.
And then Twain.
Nope. Haggard's the one in the back. Lynn is this one. And Cash.
He has like, I like
this
his
is Lynn.
eyes.
That one's Haggard. And this guy's Cash. And then the other three are up there. All right, let's tackle it. So emus aren't really what I expected emus to be. Like you see an emu, you think just a big bird, right? I mean, tell them. What did you think about emus?
They look like ostriches almost.
Like smaller than an ostrich?
Yeah. But ostriches are a lot more bigger. Plus they also lay giant eggs.
Huge eggs, huge. And emus, what we did learn about emus is that they are so curious about everything and anything, like these glasses, this microphone, my hat, my earrings, my rings. They literally are just the most curious animals that I've ever met. And I had no clue until obviously I got one and now I have 6 adults, but they are just super duper curious. And that is one thing that I did not know that they would be until we got them. We also get a lot of, are emus mean? Emus seem really scary. And honestly, I mean, do you think they're mean?
No.
No, not at all. A pet isn't how you raise them. Whether it be a dog, a cat, a cow, goat, and an emu.
Chicken.
Yeah, here comes Lynn, or Klein.
Hey, Klein.
She wants to be all up in your business. And it's just how you raise them. Some of ours are very timid and they don't really like when we touch them, but they're not mean at all. And then the other half, we can pet them, we can hug them, like Lynn back here. She's a lover back there. She will let you just love on her and stand with her and pet her and hug her. And she's the sweetest emu that we have. So we kind of have like half and half here, where some of them are more timid and they're not particularly fond of being touched, but are they mean? Definitely not. They're not even close to being mean. They're all very docile and they're all really sweet.
You know what country has emus? I'm pretty sure Australia has emus.
Australia is where emus definitely
Yeah.
came from. And in Australia, which we have learned from Australians, is that you say emu, emu.
Emu?
Emu. It is not emu, which is how us in America, we say it like that. Or most people do, I think. I do, nonetheless. But in Australia, they say it is pronounced emu.
Emu?
There you go. Like a cow. Emu. Maybe not like that, but something like that. All right. Also with emus, fencing matters. We have learned that a large amount of emus in a large space is probably your best bet. So we have here about 8 acres enclosed for these emus, and we use a 5-foot no-climb horse fencing. We have never, ever, ever, ever had an issue of our birds trying to jump the fence. We actually had an incident not too long ago where a tree fell on our fence, and definitely an emu is going to step over a squished fence. But for now, 5-foot no fencing in a large space is great. If you only have a couple acres and you have multiple birds, I would recommend definitely something 6 foot or taller, because if they don't have enough space to run away from each other, they will jump that fence. Emus run very fast. How fast do emus run?
Pretty fast.
I think like 20 to 30 miles per hour. They can get pretty fast, really quick. And when they're running from each other, especially during breeding season, they will jump a fence if they feel threatened, or if a predator is around, or if they're just trying to get away from each other, they're going to jump that fence. Now here at Milligan Farms, we have never had an emu jump a fence. Is that to say that one never will? No, that's not. But thankfully for us, a 5-foot no-climb fencing works just fine for emus if they have a large space. Again, large space. I would say 5 acres or more, you can use 5-foot fencing. Anything that is less than 5 acres, and if you have multiple emus, definitely go a little bit higher than that, because, you just don't want to lose one, or injure one for that matter, because that would be terrible.
Maybe we might let one of our emus hatch their own youngsters here out in the open, but it seems a little bit more dangerous too, because a lot of predators are here and they can get squished.
Yeah, maybe. That's another topic. People are always asking, can you let your emus hatch their own eggs? And the answer is, yeah, for sure. They can definitely hatch their own eggs. If you didn't know already, the males sit on the eggs and they incubate them for, if they're doing it themselves, it could, I would say between day 55 and 60 is when they'll probably hatch. It takes a little bit longer out here than it does in an incubator. And they can definitely do it. I would personally recommend, if you do let your males sit on their eggs, I would recommend around day 45 taking those eggs and finishing them off in the incubator, because you never know what your emus are going to do once they've hatched those babies. They can become very territorial and very nurturing and very protective of those babies, and you might not be getting them back, or that emu will turn into a dinosaur and want to eat you. So be very careful if you're going to let your emus hatch their own babies. But it can be done. I've seen many of farms do it, and many of them were successful without getting injured because they really trust their emus. But it all depends. There's never a for sure answer for anything about emus. It's just kind of trial and error and whatever works for your farm, honestly. All right, so the other thing that we love talking about, when you're going to get an emu, you're not going to expect to love such a giant bird so immensely. Like, do you love them?
Yeah.
Yeah, like how much do you love them?
I like them like 100%.
Like ridiculously amount of love comes from these birds. And honestly, it's astounding. I can't even explain how you're going to feel when this happens to you. So the love we have for these emus, they all have completely different personalities, every single one of them. Cash right here. the friendliest dude ever. He will follow you around no matter where you go. He will want to be up in your business no matter what. And he's the most curious out of all of them. We also have Klein. She is our white female, and she is the sweetest. She's one of the ones that does let us pet her when she comes up to us, and she just loves it every once in a while on occasion. And sometimes she just doesn't like it at all. But her personality, she's very, how would you describe Klein? She's like an angel almost, right? She just is so sweet, and she's just so light-footed and calm. And I mean, gosh, she's very angelic, that one. And then we have Lynn, who obviously is the sweetest of all of them because she'll let you just pet her. She'll let you hang out. You can hug her, love her, kiss her. She's just so darling. She's also the oldest emu that we have. And the personalities of all of them are so vast and so different. But warning, you will fall in love with your emu if you decide to get one. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah. We cannot imagine our lives without an emu at this point, honestly. Another thing that people don't realize is the cost of an emu. Are they cheap? No, they're so expensive. And by golly, like, you're going to spend some money. You know, if you don't have that fence, that's going to cost you money. If you don't have a shelter, costing you money. Even though emus do not like shelter. They will go in any kind of storm, in any kind of snowfall, in any kind of blizzard, and any kind of craziness. They'll stand right in the middle of that. Anywho, the incubator, if you plan to breed and hatch their babies, incubators are going to cost you money. The power to run that incubator is going to cost you money. And feed specifically. I mean, they eat a lot. When it's not breeding season, they go through some food. I guess it depends on how many emus you have, but they will go through a lot of food. And Waylon can attest to that because Waylon unloads all their food and feeds them every single day for the most part. Do they eat a lot, Waylon?
Yes, they do.
And how big are the bags that you put in their feeders? How much do they weigh? They're like 50 pounds, right? Yeah. And a 50-pound bag in their feeder that he puts in, not every day, but he puts a 50-pound bag in there maybe, I don't know, every 3 or 4 days, right?
Yep.
And they consume it and it's gone. And then we have to roll another one out. The only relief that we get is when it's breeding season and these suckers are just worried about what's going on around them, and they are not worried about eating, and they will significantly reduce their intake when breeding season comes around, which it's gonna roll up here pretty soon. It's coming. And we love breeding season because these emus get wild, real wild, like insanely wild. Like, you better watch out. Not scary, but it's kind of exciting. But anyways, the cost of these guys is not cheap. They're easy to keep, though. They're so easy to keep. They just run, you know, I don't know what that one's doing over there. Maybe she's about to do some tractor work. No clue. But, you know, they just kind of chill and they walk around and they look like beautiful prehistoric creatures in your backyard. And they are yard art for sure. We love looking at them. That's a fact. Some of the mistakes that we have made, I would say would be...
Leaving the gates open?
Oh, leaving gates open. Golly, if you leave your gate open on accident... They all run out of that gate. They'll be like, oh, what is this? And to get an emu back home is very, very difficult. They're not just going to follow you back when you call their name, like a dog or a goat for that matter. Feed buckets are very helpful sometimes. Sometimes it's basically just corralling them back to where they need to go. But just make sure that you keep your gates closed, or else that emu can end up in 2 counties over real quick. Right?
Yep.
They can get to where they're going pretty quickly. Another thing that we feel like we have learned in this experience is make sure that you're feeding your other livestock separate from your emus, or else if you got cows and goats in with those emus, they will eat emu feed.
Like everything.
Like everything. Those goats have no quit when they eat food, and they will eat all of your rat type feed if you do not feed them separately. So we did learn that the hard way, because our goats would eat all of the emu feed before the emus would even have a chance to do it. And so we hold their feed, or we put their feed up in a feeder in the barn where the goats can't reach it. We do have Nigerian dwarfs, so they're pretty short. And yeah, the emus get all the feed that they want, aside from whatever chicken is broody in the feed at the moment, right?
Yep.
Because our chickens like to be broody in the emu feed, which is rather strange. Also, the other thing that we have learned, that I specifically have learned because when we hatch emu eggs, a lot of people like to weigh their eggs and do all kinds of unnecessary things, in my opinion, when you hatch emus. And if you're asking me, I think weighing emu eggs when you're incubating is a waste of time. A lot of people like to do it. They think that they can gauge, you know, if they're developing properly. But in all honesty, you're just going to give yourself a huge headache when you try to track all that stuff. And in the end, if there is an emu in there, it's either going to hatch or it's not. And even if it grew, even if it got to a point where it's a full chick and it just never hatched, that baby was not meant to hatch. It just wasn't. Like, it might have had a failure to thrive. It might have not been able to
fully grown.
Maybe it wasn't fully formed properly. Maybe it didn't absorb its yolk sac all the way, so it didn't have the nutrients that it would have needed to survive. And there's a reason why some of these eggs don't hatch. And it's not you. It could have happened if one of your males was sitting on an egg. Just enjoy the process. Trust me, the reward is just so fascinating. You will get eventually a healthy, beautiful baby emu, and you will be glad that you didn't stress the whole entire time about weighing those eggs. Do not float test your eggs. We've never done that, but we have heard people do that. Don't do that. Not good. That egg will probably not create a chick inside of it because you got it soaking wet and then it is ruined. So don't do that. And also make sure that you always constantly open your incubator for fresh air every day, multiple times a day. I leave our door open. If I open it to put water in it for humidity, I'll leave the door open for a couple minutes. I've left it open for 5 minutes sometimes. And yeah, we have hatched some beautiful babies. Lots of babies, right? It's been, gosh, we've been doing this we've been hatching for
a couple of years, maybe?
Like 5 years. We've owned emus for about 6 years, a little over 6 years. But anywho, those are some of the things that we have learned along the way, mistakes that we have made, that we have corrected. And yeah, so everything is working like a well-oiled machine for today, at least. That could change very soon. We hope not. So here are some things that were actually easy once we got emus. They're not easy, but easier, that you don't even think about and you're like, gosh, is this gonna like work out for us? Emus are so easy to take care of once you have them. They literally just walk around in a field. You fill up their feeder, you make sure they have fresh, delicious water, and they will thrive, right? Yep. They will thrive and they will survive and they will do just fine. Make sure you give them extra love and care because they do love that. Some of them are affectionate and some of them aren't, but that's okay. You can still try. I still try with ones that aren't really affectionate and they still look at me like I'm crazy, but still, they need extra love too. So yeah, I mean, you feed them every day, right? You don't have to pick up poop unless you have a small enclosure, but I'm telling you, their poo is like a giant or a smaller version of a cow patty. So it's going to be rather difficult to pick it up. And I don't think it dries like a cow patty either.
Nope.
You can't pick those up like a disc and just toss them. They're pretty nasty and wet. But yeah. Anyways, so the caring for these emus is really, really fun. And it's very, very simple if you, if you have the right setup and the things that they need to thrive, then you're not going to have any problem raising emus at all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. So the question remains, I guess, should you, if you're watching this, should you get an emu? Do you think they should get an emu?
Yeah.
I think everyone should have an emu. I think that if you have the proper setup and if you're equipped to be able to feed them how they need to be fed and to keep clean water how they need clean water, and you can give them attention and care, and you're able to lay your eyes on them every single day because, you know, something might happen to them. And obviously you need to make sure that they're fine. If you can do that, did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Cash was grunting at us. If you can take care of them and you have what it takes to have an emu, then would you recommend that they get an emu?
Yes, and they are really lovable too.
They really are. And they're going to change your life forever. And you're never, ever, ever, ever going to not want one if you have a farm or even a smaller homestead with a couple acres. 1 to 2 emus is still doable. And you're going to love them, right?
Yeah, and
Love.
sometimes when you have a giant field, that would be perfect for a farm because emus will like to run everywhere and they are pretty playable and
They're pretty playful.
playful, yeah.
They do have a crazy fun side to them,
like
when they jump up and down and roll around, it's pretty hilarious to watch for sure. So yes, we would recommend that you get an emu. And if you have any questions on what to do or things that we didn't talk about, then you are more than welcome to email us or message us. Our email is TheMilliganFarms@gmail.com, and we are open to answering anyone's questions because we don't want you to fail. Anybody that chooses to get an emu, we want those emus to thrive, and we want them to thrive on your property, your farm, your homestead, whatever place they're going to. We want them to thrive, and we want to see you enjoy them as much as we enjoy them. 100%. Right, Waylon?
Yeah, like just like when you have baby emus, you should definitely have. You don't want a flat ground because emus' legs are very fragile.
Oh yes. So he's saying if you hatch baby emus or if you acquire some from a different farm, you need to make sure they are never on slippery surfaces because they tend to have really easy leg problems if that happens. So keep them on grippers. Keep them on grippers like shelf liner or AstroTurf or a rug. Very, very grippy surfaces because you don't want those little legs to start turning out, because then what if you fell in love with them and then, something bad happens, and that just breaks everybody's hearts, right?
Yeah.
It really does. So if you asked us today, would we get emus again if we had to do it all over again? The answer
is yes.
Absolutely, unequivocally, 100%, without a doubt, without question, we wouldn't even hesitate to get emus. They are the greatest thing that has happened to our farm, and we couldn't be happier with the choice that we made. So yes, the answer is yes. Now let's go see what these guys are doing, shall we?
We shall.
Aside from this lady right here. Sweet boy. Yeah. Which one's your favorite?
Yeah.
Cash? He's pretty sweet. Look at those zebra stripes on his neck. The coolest, bro. He's loving them scratches. He does. All right, folks, it's been a really great day. All the other guys are fishing. We have Sean and Blake and Lane out on the water. Waylon got to go yesterday. They had so much fun, and I imagine they're probably still having a grand old time right now. But that is all we have for this video. We hope that you have gained something from it. We appreciate everyone that comes and watches and supports our farm. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. We love to have you. We want to have you. We're going to do a live again on Thursday, every Thursday at 7:30. Don't forget to be there, and we can't wait to see you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks again, everybody, for coming, and we hope that we can see you next time. Have a great evening. Bye.